Hello everyone, welcome to the 31st webinar in 12D's training webinar series. A very special occasion for us as it's the first ever 12D Synergy training webinar. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at 12D Solutions. 12D's training webinars showcase common industry challenges and taking a close look at industry best practices and how these can be implemented using 12D products. The aim of these webinars is to upskill 12D users and broaden their understanding of the capabilities of 12D products. We run these webinars regularly and record them for posting through our website and on YouTube. The first 30 webinars from this training series, as well as the 27 webinars from our Industry Solutions series, are available on our YouTube channels if you missed those. During this live presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way. We'll put some instructions on the screen. We'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar, and at the end I'll read out some of your questions to the presenter for his insights if there's time. Today's webinar, Tasks and Collaboration, will be presented by Tim Brooks, who has been with 12D Solutions for over 4 years as the 12D Model and 12D Synergy Training Manager. Tim coordinates and writes 12D Model training manuals and writes the 12D Synergy training manuals. A civil designer with over 17 years of experience in the civil industry, both around Australia and in the UAE, Tim has worked on a variety of civil projects including motorways, highways, local roads, industrial and subdivision estates, car parks and rail projects. In this webinar, we'll look at using various 12D Synergy tools to help you communicate with your project team while keeping yourself informed too. We'll look at using tasks to set to-do items or suggested workflows, as well as using forums to provide information to your wider team. If you're sick of those yellow post-it notes stuck around your computer monitors, we'll show you how to get rid of those by setting notifications. We'll even examine providing links to your colleagues and creating shortcuts to your favorite jobs or folders. Over to you, Tim.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everyone. The first item we're going to look at today is tasks. Tasks have been a very popular feature of 12D Synergy. And tasks are a fantastic way to keep track of your own workload or assign items to do for others. They are also a great way to track the overall progress of the project. So let's go and have a look at creating tasks. So the task list, it sits directly below every job, like here. And to create a task, we come up to the ribbon and select the new button. You give your task a name. In this case, I'm going to do a design overall progress. If you want, you have the option to choose a coloring scheme for those tasks, like the ones in the background here. Just come and hit the select button here. In this case, I'm going to choose blue for my design. You can give your task a priority level, and then you set the tasks to who you want to do it. So you can set these tasks for yourself or any other person. Now, when setting tasks, you can choose an individual contact or a team role. You can also just type their name. So if you know the spelling of their name, you can start typing and it will populate. You can also send tasks to a defined roles. So if you start typing roles, it will also populate. Now, sorry. Now, I'm going to set my task to a team role today, and team roles are established over in the team area underneath the task list. And basically, there's just a list of roles within your project, and you assign contacts or users to those roles. In this case, I'm going to choose the project engineer. Now, why would I use a role and not just a person? Setting a task for a particular person is okay if it's just for that person. But if it's workload related, that person may leave the project and be replaced. So if you use a role, when that person is replaced, they automatically inherit their workload. For tasks, we can set start and end dates as well. There's many options here. We'll have a look at a few of those as we go through. this first one, I'm just going to use a fixed date, which is a calendar date. It will default to today's date. Likewise, for the due date, I'm going to use a fixed date as well, and I'll come and select, say, the end of month for that one. You've got a description field down the bottom, so you can type more instructions in there if you want. However, the name of this one is pretty suggestive, so I'm going to leave it there for now and hit the create button. And there it appears at the bottom of the list down there. So setting tasks like this is great for simple to-do items, but perhaps in this case, it may require other tasks along the way to generate the overall progress of this job. So we're going to come up and we're also going to create some subtasks or some child tasks. So come up to the ribbon whilst it's selected and select it there. And then we're going to give it a name, and this one is going to be the design options review. Again, I can select its priority level and who it's going to be assigned to. I'm also going to use a team role here, and this time I'll pick the design lead. Once again, I can select my start dates, so I can pick the same start date for this one because it's the first subtask. And for my due date, I'm going to use another option here called relative to start date. And this is basically a number of days. Okay, I'm going to say 5 days to do this task. In the description, you can type more instructions. So select final alignment option. Some other things you can do in the task is you can set reminders. All you have to do is come over and hit the plus button once you're in that tab, and you can choose when you want to set reminders for. So in this case, I might go 2 days before the task is due. You can set a recurring task if you want by selecting this one. You can also choose who that reminder goes to, okay? Whether it's yourself or the assignee or any other person, like a role, for example. I'm going to do the assignee in this case and hit set, and you can add more reminders if you wish. Also have a CC tab. This is a great way to keep other people informed that tasks or workload has been assigned to others. So in this case, I'm going to hit the plus again, and again I'm going to use the role, and I'm going to let the project manager know that this is happening. I'm going to hit create again, and that'll create that subtask there. But you can keep going. So I'm going to add another child task here, and this one will be do the design. Again, I'm going to set my priority level a bit higher this time, but this time I'm going to assign it to the designers. And maybe more than one designer, so therefore each designer will get this task. This time, this task cannot happen without the previous option review happening. So therefore it's going to be dependent. So in my dates here, I'm going to use relative to latest dependency due date and say 1 day after. And then again, I can say relative to start date and maybe give them 15 days to do their design. Again, in the description, so it will be do the final alignment and design strings. But this time we're actually going to set a dependency. As I mentioned before, this task cannot take place without the previous one being finished. So hit the plus button there. I'm going to scroll down, and I'll just widen this out so you can see it better. And we're going to select our previous task, the design options review. We've already done reminders and CC, so I won't do those again. But something else you can do with tasks is you can associate items to the task. This is a great way to provide that extra information with your tasks, so that your assignees don't come back to you and go, where do I put that information, or where is that file, or what 12D model project do you want me to put this in? So I'm going to hit the plus button here. You can see there's quite a number of options that you can associate here, and you can associate more than one. In this case, I'm going to select a 12D model project. This will open up the browser. I can then browse and select the 12D model project that I want this work to be done in. It'll ask for a little comment, so we'll say do the design here. Submit that, and then once again I'm going to hit create to create that task. This time, however, because I've set dependencies, I'm actually going to open up and edit this task again. I can do that one of two ways. I can double click on the task, or I can select it and come up to the ribbon and choose edit. When I do this, it will give me an extra tab called actions. And the actions is great for promoting further activity with your tasks. For example, when all tasks that this task depends on are closed, I've got the option to change the state automatically or send an email. I like to change state here, and I'm going to set it to in progress. I've also got the option here, when this task is due to start, I can change the state as well or send an email. I like send an email on this one. Therefore, the assignee will know when the other task is either completed early or when this one is due to start. Hit submit on that one. Again, we've got to put our little history comment in here, so we're going to just say actions assigned. Submit on that. And now those two tasks are linked together. But you can keep going. So after the design's complete, I'm going to put a subtask under this one now. And we're going to require a design review and approval. Again, I'm going to set my priority. I'm going to go and choose who's going to do this. I'll probably choose the project engineer again for this one. And this time, I can actually use relative to parent due date. Say 1 day after. And because this is the last task I'm going to do here, I'm going to select the fixed date and go and pick the final date that we selected. So again, you can add your description, nice and simple, review and approve final design. Again, we're going to make this dependent because it cannot happen until the previous task is complete. So I'm going to hit the plus button here, scroll down and select my do the design this time. Select that. And once again, we've got the option to select set reminders, CCs and associations. I've already done those, so we're just going to move forward and hit create. And then the same as before, I'm going to edit that one and assign the actions, change the state to progress, in progress, and also send an email. So submit on that one. Again, we've got the actions assigned there. And that's a very simplistic design process, but hopefully you get the idea. The other thing I can do here is go back to the very first task I set, the overall progress, and I can actually edit it and make it dependent on the last task. And the reason I might do that is that now I can set the actions so that when it is complete, I can change the state to closed, and that will complete the overall process. So again, I'll just put actions on this one. And now all those tasks that we've just done are linked together. So how does that work? Okay, so the first one comes along. It is the design options review. It goes underway and it gets completed. So along the way, they can change it to in progress and they can change the percentage there. so you can visually see where that task is up to. But once it's complete, it can then be closed out. Yes to setting it to 100%, submit, and I've got a predefined description here so I don't have to type it all the time, called task complete. And that completes that task. Now I'm just going to do a quick refresh here on the task list, and now that that one is closed, you can see the very next one has automatically been kicked off into progress. And so the designers now have received an email notification saying they've got some work to do. And we associated that task to the 12D model project, so they know which project to go and edit. So what they would do is come down to their 12D model project, they're going to check that out, and they're going to go and do their work. And every day they would check that back in, and with that, it would be associated to the task. I'm just going to skip straight to the end here, and I'm going to check it back in, even though I haven't done any changes. I'm just going to check it in anyway. And I'll just choose the manual description. We're going to go right to a milestone backup. Just expand this out so you can see it. And I'll just say design complete for my final comment. Set that and submit. Now, this is showing me that this project has been linked to an active task. And there it is, do the design. And what the designers can do is on their daily check-in, they can update the progress if they like. But as I'm already at the end, I can also come and change the state to closed. We can go set on that one. Okay, and now if I come back to the task list, we'll see that do the design is now closed, and now the design review and approval has now been kicked off into progress. Okay, so again, once that happens, it will also be closed out. Just do our complete there, and by completing that now, because we linked it back to the overall one, it has now closed out that task as well. Okay, so you can follow all those task progress as they go along. You can also see the due dates out here. If a task is ever overdue, these will tell you that it will be written in red writing, and it will have the number of days that it's overdue next to that date. All right, so that's individual tasks. If a task is common, either within a job or every job that you do within Synergy, you can have your administrator create a task style. Now, just say those tasks that I just did on that design, if I had to create those every project, that would be a little bit annoying. So I can have my administrator set up a template for me that creates them all in one go. Got an example here of a report type one. So I'm going to come and create a new task, and let's say we do a volumes report. Doesn't really matter what type of report it is, they're all going to have a very similar procedure. This time, where it says type, you'll notice the generic type of task. That's a simple to-do task, okay? If your administrator sets up styles for you, you can select it and you'll get a drop-down list, and in this case, I want the report style. Again, you can select your priority. You can come and select who it's assigned to, set your start and end dates and your descriptions, just like before. This time, I'm going to go straight to create. And now, if you see my volumes report down the bottom, if I expand that, you can see that it is set several tasks up all at once. It's got do the report, it's got check the report, and format the report. And maybe you also add issue the report to that. But that saves you having to create those same tasks all the time. All I would have to do here is go in and either set who it's assigned to and the start and end dates. So that's tasks. The next item we're going to have a look at is our forums. And forums are a great place to provide information to your team and provide discussion areas for your project-related items. Again, forums sit underneath the job area, so you can see it just sitting here. And in this example, you can see I've got several different forums, all designated to a particular discipline. Okay. So to create a forum, up in the top ribbon here, you first add a category. So for example, if I come and add a category called site visits, you can add a description to that if you wish, then hit add. And then select that category, and under each category you can provide any number of topics you wish to discuss or as a method of providing information. So I'm going to come and add a new topic. I'm going to say what to bring. In the area below, you can type whatever message you want to provide. So maybe they have to bring their PPE gear, sunscreen, water, and any other messages you want to provide. Okay. Something else you can do with forums is you can attach images to them. So that's the second last button on the end here. I can come and pick that and choose where I get the image from. In this case, I'm going to choose a local destination, which will open up a browser. I can then browse through and select the image that I require. Once you're finished writing your post, simply come down to the bottom and select the post button. And that's what the final result looks like. Okay. Other things you can do with forums is I'm going to go into the occupational health and safety one here, and I'm going to create a new topic, and I'm going to call it safety induction. Now in this one, again, I can type messages if I wish, but maybe I need to point them to a location to access material, or perhaps do a website training, whatever it may be. So in the forum here, I'm going to come to the last button, and this allows me to insert a link. So pick that one there. You give your link a name. I'm just going to call it safety. Now, if you're pointing off to a web path, all you have to do here in the link path is put the full website address. So that includes the HTTPS // and then www. whatever the web address is. Okay. But you can also link it to an area within your 12D Synergy location. So come and select from 12D Synergy. Come and pick the link type. So you can link to a file, a folder, or a task list. In this case, I'm going to go to a folder. It will open up a browser. I'm going to select the safety folder here. Select the link button and then create. That creates the link, and now I can post. So yes, I've looked at the post. Now on this one, I actually want people to read this, so I need to notify them. So I'm going to come up the top here and I'm going to select the notify button. Again, I'm going to come down the bottom and hit the plus or the add button. And I've got the option here to choose whoever I want. I can come to a job team, I can select them by role, I can even select the client, for example, as an external contact. But if I just come back to search and hit find, this will just give me a list of everyone, all my users within my company. Come and select whoever you want to be notified, hit the select button, and then when you select use, you'll then provide a description. In this case, in my description, I'm going to ask them to read and reply. So now notifications have been sent. Those guys have now received an Outlook email, and they'll be pointed back to this forum to come and select this link and do whatever they need to do. But because I've asked them to reply, if I come and tick this button here, which is watch this topic for replies, I will then be notified that they have complied with my instructions. Okay. And just to show you that the link works, we'll pick on the safety link here. You'll see it automatically browses me through to the safety folder, and there's some documents sitting in there ready for reading. Okay, so notes. I bet if I could see everyone and I asked who used those little yellow post-it notes and has them stuck around their monitors, 95% of you would have your hand up. And you do that because it is an important note that you need to see. The problem with those things is when you actually require it, it's fallen off, it's lost its sticky, you can't find it, or you put the notes in a notebook and you can't find what page it's on, or you can't find. So Synergy has a nice little solution for you called Synergy Notes, a great way of making sure those notes stay with the information and never get lost, no matter in a week or in 6 months' time. So let's go and have a look at those. Several places for notes. Notes can also be done at a folder level. So if you come to any folder, you'll see the note tab at the top there. And notes can also be done for files. So to do this, make sure you select your file first, come down to the bottom area and select this note tab. Okay. And once again, you can select new and record whatever note you want there. Could even be a phone conversation. Say with the client, might be, you know, something like include details of and whatever it may be as per phone call. You can save that with that file then. This time you may choose to notify somebody of that one. So we go yes there, select who you want to be notified. So again, I could use a job role like the project manager. I could also include the job contacts like the client there. Okay. Use those. They get an email notification now letting them know that that note is there. And for the internal staff, if they wish to now, they can also come and do a reply to it. So maybe the project manager goes details added today, saves that one, and the reply will stay with that note now. So very handy little items, means none of your information will get lost. It'll stay where it needs to and be associated with the data that's in your 12D Synergy. All right, another feature inside Synergy is notifications, and notifications are great for keeping yourself or others informed of any changes to folder information or files inside 12D Synergy. Again, notifications are done via an Outlook email. So I'll go and show you how to do those. First of all, setting your own notifications. For example, maybe you're a drafter and you want to keep an eye on the XREF folder. You might want to know when a new file is added to this folder and or if any changes occur. So to do that, we're going to select the folder in question here, right-click on it and select notifications. Now this is at a folder level. You can do it at an individual file level as well. So again, just right-click on the file, select notifications, and then choose what you want to be notified of. In this case, I might want to know when a new file is added to the folder, and I also want to know when any file in this folder is checked back in, because what that means is a change has occurred. So submit there, Go OK, and now I can close the notification panel. So if either of those two instances occur, I'll get an email telling me so. Now, if you're more at a manager's level, you may wish to pass on notifications, so keep your team informed of vital changes. For example, in the 12D model area, you might keep your user library in here. And perhaps depending on how you use your 12D library inside Synergy, maybe you used a relative path, not a synergy path, your users need to know if changes occur here so they can do a get all. So again, I'm going to right click on the folder. This time I'm going to select edit folder, and I'm going to come across to the notifications tab, pick what you want your users to be notified of. So again, I'm going to select any file in this folder is checked back in, come over to the right and add your recipients. So in this case, again, I'm going to add roles, and I might choose to add the surveyors, and I could also add the designers to that list as well. Therefore, any of the guys in those roles will be notified of that change. Make sure you come down the bottom and hit save. OK, and then you can close that edit panel. So that's good for a folder. At an individual file level, perhaps you want somebody to watch something important like a monthly progress report. Make sure you select the file, come up to the ribbon and select the details icon. Again, come to the notification tab, and once again choose what you want them to be notified of. So again, I want someone to be notified of any changes to this file. So again, come and add the recipient, add the role, project engineer, select, make sure I hit save, and then I can close it. And therefore, you've made those people aware of when changes will occur. Very handy feature. All right, next item. We promised at the start that we'd show you a few tips for shortcuts. So I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite things to do here. First one is sending a link to one of your colleagues is perhaps the easiest way to save you time also, so that they don't hassle you when they can't find a particular file or they can't find a folder location. So to do that, let's say somebody wants to know where this PDF is. Highlight it, or the folder for that matter, right click on it and come down and select Create Link. This will give you a number of options. The first one here, this one's my favorite. It's like Control-C, Control-V. Once I select it, I can paste that into any application I want, whether it's an email, you guys might have internal communicators, or Skype, or something very similar. So you can paste that wherever you want that. The other option here would be the email one, which actually opens an Outlook email for you and puts the link in there ready to send. Okay, I'm going to use the top one for now. There's two ways you can use this. If the person you send it to already has the 12D Synergy client open, you can simply come down to the location bar and paste it into there. And when they hit enter, it will find the file. Or if they don't have the 12D Synergy client open, so I'm going to close this down, you can come and paste it into any Explorer, whether it be Internet or Windows Explorer. There we go, paste the link in, hit enter, and now that will automatically open up the 12D Synergy client. It will then browse through and find the job, folder, and then highlight the PDF in question. Just like that. So it doesn't get much easier, really. All right, another favorite thing I like to do is, as a 12D model operator, every day you open up a project, the same project most days, and you're always working in one particular folder. In this case, for me, it would be inside the 12D model folder. Let's say the user folder, for example. So every day of the project, you're going to open up a client or a browser of some sort. You're going to browse to find that job. and then you're going to browse into that job to find that folder. Well, if that's where I'm going every day, I like to right-click on it, again come down and select Create Link, but this time I'm going to select the desktop shortcut option. So pick that one. Now I'm going to come and close the 12D client down again. And if you have a look on top of my desktop here, it has given me a new desktop shortcut icon. So instead of opening up Synergy tomorrow the same way, I will simply come and double click on my new shortcut icon. And this will automatically open up 12D Synergy, not only to the job, but to the folder that I work in, day out. Just like that. And you don't have to set it to a folder, you can do that at a job level if you wish as well. All right, that's all I've got. Back to you, Lisa, for any questions.
Great, thanks, Tim. We've had a few questions through, so I'm just going to select, I think, 3 for today to do live, and we'll get back to everyone else by email. So Andrew in Melbourne has said, is there reporting available for which tasks were assigned to which users? So I think from two aspects. So could I look at a particular user or role in the system and see at a glance which tasks that person was assigned? And also, is there an overall kind of report that outlines all of the different tasks for all of the different users?
Yes. So to look for a particular user and what tasks they have, first of all, I guess for your task, you've got the My Active Items. So you can come down to the task there, you can see everything that's assigned to you. So that's yours. But if you want to search for another particular user, come up to the View menu, change it to System View, and go to the Task tab, choose who you're looking for in the assignee. So whoever it may be, find, let's go, Gene, and then you can do your search. Now this will display all the tasks that he has assigned to him there. Okay. You can also do your reporting through there as well. So you can do a report on that.
Great, thanks, Tim. And thanks, Andrew. I hope I outlined your question properly, but I know you had another one there, so we'll be emailing you soon anyway. We can elaborate on that. And so, Tim, Adam in Newcastle has asked, can notifications be used to watch progress on work being done by others?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they're particularly good for watching the progress of work on your projects in another city or even another country, especially since you can't see them, but now you can see their progress. So set those notifications, you can see their check-ins regularly and what they've been up to.
Okay, and last one for today, and Sarah in Brisbane would like to know, can tasks be used to monitor the progress of projects or jobs?
Yes, very good for monitoring progress of jobs. In fact, you can have tasks sitting in every job, even as part of a job template. And this way, any, say, project manager can just flick through any job immediately and see where the progress is at on that particular project. In fact, as an example, in this particular job, the Emu Park job here, these coloured tasks are kind of a simplistic outline of a typical job. And so straight away, you can look at that, look at the progress bar, and you can see that this project is in the design process.
Thank you, Tim. And thanks to the audience for all your questions. Again, sorry to those we didn't get to live, but we'll be sending through answers by email soon. The recording of this webinar will be available in coming days through our website and our YouTube channel. Our next training webinar is Inlet Capacity, SAG and on-grade locations on the 7th of November. Do keep an eye on our website for details of that, as well as our upcoming industry solutions topics, including a great 12D Synergy one on the 25th of October. We'll also continue to keep you posted through email and social media. If you need to contact us in the meantime, our details are on the screen now. That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you all for attending, and we hope to see you at future webinars.